Hi there. We are starting in about 2 minutes. So we do have a guest today for our Mastiff home buyers, homeowners, lunch and learn. So I welcome you if you're jumping on live or if you are seeing this later. I ask that you drop it in the comments. If you're seeing this live, say hi. And if you are seeing it later, leave us a comment anyways and let us know that you were here. Also, if you have topics that you want to hear about, please let me know what those are. I'm going to be bringing experts and information to you through our Facebook and YouTube channels as well as LinkedIn. So I look forward to it. We're going to give Mike a few minutes to get on here. I probably came on a little bit early. Wanted to make sure that the system works well. So we'll just give it a minute. And also, drop in the chat where you're joining us from. So I heard a little blip. Hi, Mike. Are you on? Can you hear me? I think you might have to unmute. Let's see. Maybe it is my speakers here. Oh. Sounds like my sound is on. Oh. We lost Mike. So hopefully he'll get back on. He's going to talk to us today about solar. Which I'm excited about. We moved in 2017. Hi, Mike. Are you there? Can you hear me? I can't hear you. There.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, now I can hear you.
Okay, I'm calling from my cell phone instead of my computer, so we've got a connection. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Glad to.
Yeah. So hopefully this will go off well. This is the first time that I've had somebody join me. I've done a number of these live streams by myself, but it's going to be a little bit different. I will be muting and unmuting myself just to make sure that there's no background noise while you're speaking, because I think that'll help a little bit just to make sure that people can hear. So I want to introduce our lunch and learn today. My name is Angel. I am the CEO of Mastiff Home Buyers, and we improve lives and communities through rehabbing houses and making renters into homeowners. So that's our business model and what we want to do. I'm here today for our weekly lunch and learn, joined by Mike Fox. You go by Mike, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Welcome to our lunch and learn today. Mike's going to talk to us about solar. So I'm excited about that. This is going to be real informal. We are live broadcasting. I do have some guided questions, but I also want you to be able to share, what are the things that you think are most valuable for homeowners to understand about solar.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. Well, so we're going to jump in. And, I want to just hear a little bit about you. You personally, you professionally, how'd you get into solar, that kind of stuff.
Right. Well, I am a long-time mortgage loan officer for 20 plus years. But I have looked personally into solar. Several months ago, I just read so many articles about solar being the grid, the utility grid that we're all using is ancient and just service a lot of money to maintain it. And solar is a good way, some pressure off of the grid, as well as create your own electricity over the time frame and not pay all the increasing over time, especially with more and more maintenance as they're changing the grid, that good stuff. So I've been selling solar as well for several months now. It's fantastic, and I think in the Midwest here, not everyone's solar. I know, the Sun Belt. It's about every third house, but here much, and it's fantastic. And I just think we need to get the word out. And when people really can do, and the savings available, it's so much a no-brainer for everyone. Solar doesn't work for every household, but solar does work. It's so fantastic. How does that sound?
That's great. Yeah, so tell us more. So you speak about the grid, and folks may not know what that means. I bought solar several years ago, as I think I told you, and that's where I
Yeah.
learned a lot about this. But I didn't know. They were talking about the grid, and I'm like, what is that?
Right. Well, right now, utility companies, Evergy is local here to Kansas City, where that's what I'm using. But they have all the power across the country. It's just in the 1930s, people developed the grid. Let's say they put in the lines and put everything, the electricity that we're using. But that's 90 years ago. So homes. How many homes that are 90 years old need movement, no love and consideration? There's not really any. So same, it's 90 plus years old. You've got to work on that, maintain it, and there's a whole. So with solar, you put panels on the roof, the sunlight, the UV rays, and that converts that into electricity. And so what is used is right now a meter on their house. You turn the light on, it uses the electricity, it shows up on get your bill. Well, we have what's called net metering, and net them out and basically change out the one-way meter to a two-way meter. It tracks the sunlight that's coming in, the power that's generated from the household, the usage of the household, and the extra production from electricity goes to the grid. It just hangs out there basically as a credit. And so in the evenings, when you're not producing any light because it's dark outside, it's back, and there's never a delay with the same as it does now. No lights flickering, no power shortages. You've just got that in a lot of energy, and then you're borrowing from that energy. The goal with solar is utility bill. So that just completely goes away, and you basically. And I know you said you did it several years ago. Everyone I've spoken to and has done it just loves it and just reaps the degree.
Yeah, I have really liked it. I didn't end up going to 0 bills, but during the not, peak seasons, like of winter and summer, where I'm not running much power, I am like paying anywhere from 3 to $25 a month for my electric. So I am not going to complain about that.
Yeah.
Now, peak months like January and July, normally I might have a $200 bill, but we did not get enough of solar panels to be able to cover. So we knew that was going to happen.
Mhm.
So because our system is not big enough, and that was because of what we chose to purchase. So that was a personal choice, versus the solar not being adequate. So we could
Right.
potentially add on to that and cover that at some point. But at the time, it did what we were hoping for. Is it reduced our bills significantly for most of the months of the year, and that really created a lot of relief. And so I would do it again, for sure, and would encourage others to definitely check it out.
Well, that is awesome. And it's great to hear your experience too. I like to hear that.
Yeah, well, and one of the things that I did learn, with the grid, you talk about the grid. One of the assumptions that I did make was, when the electricity goes out, I still have electricity because I have solar. And no, that wasn't the case. I still have to get out my generator and generate myself up because, when Evergy's down, the grid is not really working, and it's not pushing power to my house. So even though it's the solar may have stored it, I still can't use it. And so I was like, darn. So that was
Yeah.
one of my assumptions going into it. I thought, well, I was thinking of it being this great generator that was going to power my house, and it wasn't exactly like that. So, that's okay, but it's definitely still something that I would invest in again, um, and you would recommend others to do that. Um, so tell us a little bit about the service that you offer. How if I'm interested in solar, and purchasing solar, what are the steps that I need to take, and what is it that you offer?
Well, with solar, we've been around for about 12 years. We are a continuing company. We've got very high Google review ratings, service. And we do everything in house. So we don't do the work. We have factory trained installers that work fluent. And we've got a lifetime workmanship warranty, actually, that has a lifetime. Most have a 25-year, which is great. But we've got a lifetime workmanship warranty to come up with the panels. We are there to answer questions, to do service, to maintain that whatever it needs to be in that reference.
Mhm.
When we put panels, there is a phone app which tells you what's going on. Get really techy, and you can get nerdy down into it, and you can see what panel is producing, what panel is not producing enough, and you can figure out, okay, is there shade on it right now? Is there an issue right now? What's going on? And it goes by panel, from panel to panel, to go that deep into it. But it's a really neat process.
That's
But as far
neat.
as my service, it really is, and it's not for everybody. But if somebody wants to take a deep dive into, it's available for sure.
Right. Well, and I don't have that with the company that I signed up with. So we don't have an app or anything. The only way I can
Mm-hmm.
see what I'm using is through my Evergy bill. So I don't
Oh,
have that the depth of analytics. So that is something that, sounds even better than what I got. And one of the things that I didn't, I don't think I heard you mention is maybe you did. What is the name of the company, and do you have a website?
It's Fluent, Fluent Solar.
Okay. Okay. I'm
And
putting it in
I
the
sent
chat.
information. If there's a
Okay.
way we could put that up, and that'd be incredible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can find what you sent and dump it here and put it here in the chat so it'll be out there for folks who see this later, especially that they can grab the links. Um, yeah, I'll do that while we're talking here. Um, So tell us, so what brought you to find this passion for solar power that you said, "Hey, this is something that I really want to do."
Well, I think that as individuals to protect our environment, I think we've got. I'm not a huge green tree hugger per se, but I like the idea of electric vehicles. That'll probably be my next car purchase. Solar. I like the idea of bringing costs down and saving, and doing what I can to just help me help the environment. So that's a whole lot of what it is. Solar has over the years and will continue to do so. I think that is just the future and where we're all heading. So I figured I'll get in, and it's really taking a forefront now, and I wanted to be. So it's really exciting to do.
Yeah. All right.
To offer as for clients who are considering it, it doesn't fit. It fits about 70% of the time for people for roofs.
Mhm.
Depends on how choppy the roof is, how many panels we can fit on there, etc. But it takes just a very little bit of information to prepare a proposal, a presentation that really shows we use satellite imagery. It goes from satellite imagery, it'll show the roof, it'll show the design, is to use the least amount of panels that are most amount of electricity on a regular basis, and ideally we that electric bill too. So with the tools, the tech end, we're able to design that and then discuss the design, the layout. We can produce from the panels in reference to how much on a regular basis, and then we kind of break down the cost. The cost if you continue to rent electricity and doing nothing, buying solar and creating your own system, and you spend X amount of dollars over a time period just buying versus owning it and building value in your home. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Me personally, excuse me, utility bill over the last several months, and with Evergy removed, and I signed up, and I get a weekly text, and it shows me how much energy that I've used. And so one week it'll say, hey, energy this week from the previous week, and the next week you lose a little more. So I'm getting these. It shows that I'm hovering around $20-$25 a week of. So you figure, okay, I'm using about $100 of electricity a monthly, I'm looking at this app, I think, oh, that's fantastic. Well, I look at my bill, and yes, my $100 of electricity, but there are so many costs that go to the utility company that it's not in reference to the my bill's a little over $200 a month. So I'm using $100 of electricity away and just, paying an electric company. That's why I say that that's such the cost. There's no reason. And there's basically a monopoly and want electricity, and that's the only thing we can do. Your mortgage just raised your interest rate or raised your payments. You would throw a but with the electric company, we're just completely used to that.
Right.
Or we don't even notice. So
I was going to say, we don't even notice often. Yeah. I mean, sometimes there's big deals made out of it, but most of the time it's like your bill is your bill and you just pay it, and you don't, unless it's something hugely significant, significantly different, you don't notice it and you don't bring it up. So
right.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, well, we need our electricity, but now there's another good option. So it's I just want to get that message out there and let everyone kind of reap the reward.
Right. So what are who you talked a little bit about that it fits on it's appropriate for about 70% of roofs. And that I would assume that that means, you can be a owner occupied homeowner. I work in real estate, so also for landlords or people who own properties that other people live in. Do you have any thoughts about if it is a good investment for a landlord?
Yes, I do. I think primary residence, you're building equity immediately. So that's great. We kind of mentioned that.
Right.
It's fantastic as well. I think, rents are ever, and that's just kind of where we are right now. But if you can take an electric bill away from a client and that the competition has, you can basically have equal cost, have your renter pay your solar payment.
Right.
And so that's a fantastic opportunity to you. Hey, I don't have an electric bill. The rent is basically the same to all the houses. So why not choose the solar, the payment with, no electricity? As the landlord, you've got your solar paid. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I agree. And that's why I asked that, because I wanted to call that out, because I think that, sometimes it's, the not thought of for a real estate investor, because they are not the ones paying the electric. So their opinion is, well, why would I invest in solar? Because I'm not paying the electric bill. But it is an investment and it does add value to your house. And it is going to improve the value of your house in the long term. So most investors don't own their houses forever. Some might, but eventually they sell them off to someone else, and that someone else might be somebody who's going to live there, and that would be a great selling point to sell that property. So
for sure, there's a lot of information how much solar panels increase the value, and some of the numbers seem really high. Here at Fluent Solar, we try to be on the conservative side. Solar panels are put on the roof, and electricity judged by kilowatt hour. That's just a measurement of electricity, kind of like a gallon of gas. So we put a kilowatt hour, we put a panel that's producing, let's say, 10 kilowatt hours, we add value of about $2,500. So if we put a 10 kilowatt system on a roof, we expect that that's going to add about onto the equity of the home immediately. There's a lot of information, 4,500, 5,500, 6,500. I've
Right.
seen it all, and like I said, but to be conservative and you plan $2,500, you can see how chunk of even the solar cost if a landlord were to sell it in a few years. Additionally, if either primary home or a landlord were to sell the home in a few years, the loan is completely 100% just like now you would call the electric company and say, hey, I'm moving, and the new buyer says, hey, I just electricity over. Same thing works for the solar loan. So it's just easily buyer, no worries, no payment to consider past that, and it kind of sells with the house. So it's easy.
Yeah. So, with that, as you talk about loans, do you have lenders, financiers that are available to work with people who want to purchase the solar?
We do. Standard loan terms are about 25 years. We find that people average pay the solar loans off in 10 to 12 years, just with the extra savings. They want to get to that point where they don't have that payment. So
Right.
they're excited to pay off solar as soon as possible. We have several different lenders available. Like I said, it's a 25-year term, 0.99%. And in today's environment, nobody can tell. So yeah, you can finance, and there's no prepayment penalty. You can pay it off as soon as you for that cost. It's an easy process as long as you're qualified to get that one payments reflected accordingly.
Yeah, that sounds great. So, you talk about the roof mounts. Do you do ground mounts as well?
Yes, if need
How?
be. So go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, so we work in residential solar, so not like that. But yes, we have roof mounts, and if someone's got a lot of land, mounts as well. The ground mounts need to be further than 400 yards of the home, but that range, we can do the ground mount, and basically we just come out there and, like a racking system, the panels attached to. For a ground mount, we basically build with the racking system on that, and we attach the panels onto the ground mount either.
Yeah, so mine is a ground mount. We have 4 acres, so it wasn't a problem. The biggest problem that we ran into is that I didn't want it real close to the house. So I made them dig, and they dug up the yard, all the way out to the back because we have a what's it called? Septic. We have septic out here, and we have a lagoon. And so I was like, put that thing back there by the lagoon. So, because we can't use that space for really anything else. I mean, we mow it. But so we put it out further from the house. But somehow my unit is massive compared to some of the other units that I see out here. And we're out south of Belton. And there are a number of folks out here who have solar. I don't know where all of them have purchased. We got ours from a company out of Springfield. And this was like in 2018. So it's been some time since we bought it. But ours is a it looks like a massive system sitting out there because it's just huge compared to some of the others that we see. But, and every time it uh, hails or something, I'm like, "Oh my gosh." But, I know that they are sturdy, and you said that there's a warranty on yours, for lifetime, and I assume that would include, Missouri or Kansas weather.
Yeah, these panels are super durable. We have a lifetime workmanship warranty. The panels have a 20 for production. Within 25 years of when they are be producing at least 80% of what they're producing day one. Panels, they will take a 2-inch golf ball size hail traveling 80 miles an hour, no damage, 160-mile-hour wind gusts, and extreme heat and cold area. So yes, they're when we put them on a roof, I say it's like putting a sheet of armor that protects everything.
Yeah. I used to, the first year, that we got it, when it snowed and we had, big snowstorms, I would make my husband go out there and sweep it because I'm like, it's not getting us any energy because the sun can't get through. The second year, he was like, "I'm not doing that anymore. It'll be fine. It will eventually come off." And it does. So, it worked out. But yeah, that was the first year I was like, "Oh my gosh, my panels. I need to get the snow off of them."
Right.
But yeah, they withstand everything, and we haven't had to worry about them really at all, and haven't had any issues with ours. So um
That's fantastic.
yeah, and so I would definitely recommend it to anyone, who is thinking about it, or even if they weren't thinking about it before, they should check it out, I think. So,
I
um
think so too. You mentioned the snow. While these are super durable, they don't generate heat. They're producing. They are
right.
full of wires and things. So there is a little bit of a current. So especially when they're on a roof and a pitch of a roof, that
Mhm.
little bit of current going through them is melt the snow and get it off pretty quickly as well. Which probably you've noticed by now too, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, some of those snowstorms that we were getting, I mean, we had 3 foot of snow
Yeah.
or 4 foot of snow, out there, and I was like, "Oh, get it off, get it off." And that was the year that, I mean, it snowed so much that when it started coming down, it was like scary because, you drive down the road and it would come at you and drop on your car, and it was like this big bang because it was so heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But are there I know that, these are really half hour. I mean, we can go longer than that if you have other things that you want to share. But are there any other points that you want to make or things that you want to share with folks before we start to wrap up?
Much extra time, but I think I've said a lot as far as a little the electric grid out there and what solar can do. I would love the opportunity to put a proposal together for people who are considering or might. We'll see kind of how that works out, shakes out. When you look at your bill, we don't do that, but when you look at your bill and see how much money is just going into nothing, equity in your home, and put yourself in a better position, I think it would be great. The more people protect our environment, the better. So I'd love that opportunity.
All right. Well, I see your phone numbers there. On the screen. I'm also going to put it in the chat. And so if somebody wants more information, they can check out the website or they can give you a call. Are there any other ways that they can get information? Are those the best?
Um, given me a, I'm trying to send you in a chat, but it's not going scrolling through my email address too, but or an email, and I
Okay.
can put information together. And I don't need a call. I can make an application in 5 minutes, and then I can put a proposal together and follow up and kind of really discuss. It's good when I have the opportunity to get a utility that shows the previous year's usage. And so with that information, I use it to meet clients' needs.
Yeah. So tell me your email and I'll put it here in the chat.
Okay. It's mfox@solar.net.
Hey, there it is.
No,
so people...
it's mfoxfluentsolar.net.
Oh, shoot. Okay, let me get rid of this. mfox at fluent solar
my fluent solar.
Okay.
There
Is that right?
we go. Yes, that's it.
I'll see if I can delete those other comments. I don't know if I can. I don't know how to do it from here. The system's
well, I'm a
me
quick
too.
call away.
Yeah.
Cell phone, so that's the easiest way to reach me for sure.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you. There it is. Oh, I'm learning new things. Look at that. There is your email right there on the screen. So, but I appreciate you taking the time to join me today, and I will share the download of the videos so you can share it, anywhere that you want to share it, and I'll be, sharing it as well. So, and anyone, if they don't know how to reach out to you, they know how to get in contact with me, and I will make sure they get to you.
It was really great to be able to visit with you today. I appreciate it, and I will look.
All right. Well, good luck to you. We'll catch up soon.
All right.
All righty. Bye.
Goodbye.